Thanks, Adam, for that introduction, and also to Renee for the introduction. Great to see so many Magnetic Island people here, as well as people from the mainland. For those that don't know me, I am the Community Liaison Officer for Magnetic Island with the Port of Townsville. My background is in tourism, as Director of Tourism and Recreation with the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority many years ago. And I see one of my colleagues, John Brodie, here from those days long ago. And also I've been working with MSQ, Maritime Safety Queensland, and AMSA, the Australian Maritime Safety Authority, in managing the reef vessel traffic monitoring system up and down the coast for all the ships going up and down the coast, and also putting into place a lot of the infrastructure that we see, those sticks with flashing lights, not only at this port, but in other ports all up and down the Queensland coast. So that's some of my background. The CLG, the Community Liaison Group, have been looking at an enhanced framework for an environmental dashboard. This builds on the existing air quality dashboard that was developed in the last couple of years or so, following community concerns about the air quality around the port. And that air quality dashboard is available on the port website now, and you can see the information that's coming out of that. Working with the Community Liaison Group, we have decided that we should start an expanded dashboard with the initial focus on water quality. And we're talking about turbidity, clarity, and visibility, rather than heavy metals and that sort of side of things. Because the community concern that we've heard through various processes, including the last forum, was the concern about the turbidity of the water, especially for marine tourism around the island here. So that's why we decided to focus on that. Obviously, we want to help inform discussion, share our data to help inform discussions with the community and bring greater understanding of the natural and human influences on what is observed. Our primary audience is the community, recognising it is made up of a whole range of groups, which you can see there. And of course, in addition to that, the general community who just enjoys being on the beach, walking along Jeffrey Bay, or other recreational activity that they might be doing around the island as well. We need to confine our focus, otherwise it's just the whole project was going to get bigger than Ben-Hur. So we're looking at Townsville port limits with a focus on the port operational area in Cleveland Bay in the context of the broader Burdekin region. So we're really looking around this whole area here. Just briefly, the environmental parameters. We're splitting it into stages. The first stage is to get a real handle on the water quality, turbidity, clarity, visibility as a priority for a series of nominated sites throughout Cleveland Bay. But this will also be in reference to the wind speed, direction, wave height, tidal flows, rainfall, and then all the dredging and other ship or other recreational or tourist boat activity. And secondly, we'll go into another stage where we'll provide links to the RIMREP for all the other environmental parameters such as coral cover, seagrass, and so on, the benthic cover and so on. Linking also there to, I think that should read creek to coast, am I right, John? The creek to coast as the subset of RIMREP. I'll talk about that in a minute. Eye on the Reef programme from Gabrompa, Trop Water, Reef Ecologic, which is Adam's group, and the Reef Check Ecosystem Health Data, which is also a Townsville, as I understand, it's Townsville Grace group as well. So the RIMREP, this is the Integrated Monitoring and Reporting Programme for the reef. It was set up under the Reef 2050 action plan. In response to the UNESCO inquiry into the listing of the Great Barrier Reef World Heritage Area. It covers the whole of the Great Barrier Reef World Heritage Area, and it's monitored on a regional scale. Our local region is the creek to coast bit, where with catchments information is fed into the total RIMREP program. And as you see, this is run by Gabrompa. It's being reported annually in a report card, which has these little circles, which you probably can't see too clearly on the screen. But each report, there's one for the Burdekin area, represents information on water quality, coral and seagrass. So there'll be linkages between the program that the Community Liaison Group is working on and also on the what's happening in terms of the broader Reef 2050 program, Gabrompa, etc. What will it look like at the moment? We've got a very early concept design. This is what the dashboard may look like and appearing on the port website, so you'll be able to access it, or the public would be able to access it. Just point out, this is a concept only, and any values or numbers you see up the side are totally false data. We'll put that preemptive thing on there. But what we have is, on the top left-hand side there, we have a graph of real-time data, which we're going to be getting from some buoys that the port is deploying, up to 5 buoys, to monitor the water quality in real time. The graph below represents the water quality data that is available going back to around about 2012, 2011. That's been achieved from WBM and also from AIMS. So that data is being fed in there, so you can be able to click on these and go back to any period in time back to then to be able to see what the water quality measurements were. The concept then is to also have things like wind speed, direction, wave height, which can be overlaid. So it's a bit like a GIS system, so you might start off with one of those basic graphs, and then you can click on wind speed, and you get an overlay, a bit like perhaps the light blue shaded area on the top graph there. The other ones you might be able to do, and the example we've just given here, again, totally false data. The brown lines there represent when a dredge was active in Cleveland Bay. So you'll be able to click on when the dredge was active and be able to see what happened to the water quality when the dredge was present. That's the concept. You'll be able to also click on other parameters as well. The photograph at the top right, again in concept at the moment, is like a live photo stream, whether it could come from the existing AIMS camera out in the Cleveland Bay, or we may involve marine tourism operators or the community in actually providing information on photo. Underneath, not too clear at the moment, but the map. So example, this might be today's water clarity at Florence Bay. So you've got the map of where the actual data monitoring would be. Underneath, we've got a little bit of information. Again, this is based on Bobby the buoy, which actually is deployed already. That's out in the mouth of the Ross River, and it's measuring at the moment turbidity, salinity, pH and water temperature. And the concept is to have 4 more of these buoys across Cleveland Bay and also at a couple of sites around Magnetic Island, particularly where there's magnetic marine tourism activity, so that we can see what's happening at some of these key sites. And at the bottom, there's an idea as well, we might put a ship tracker link to our ship tracking system as well, so we can see what happens when a ship goes past. So that's the concept. Next steps, data review framework. We're looking at the existing data. We're looking at where we might put these buoys to get new specific location data. And that's where the CLG's next deliberation, I think, is going to be, is to decide on the sites for these monitoring buoys in association with the marine tourism industry. We're also on the CLG. Thank you.